Well, hello everybody and welcome back. It is Jeff again, coming to you with another episode of Minecraft from the Mindcrack vanilla server. And I was going to venture out in a boat a little bit and look for another underground cave, but I can't remember for the life of me how to make a boat in this snapshot. I think it's either that with a wooden shovel, or it's possible that you can't make a boat with these type of planks. Nope, I can't make a boat. It's a dark oak boat. There we go. I forgot that they added the paddles. And I don't remember how to use it. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. This is hard. Oh, this is hard. Oh, this is hard. Oh, this is hard. Okay. That's forward. Can I... turn. Turn, boat. Turn. Thank you. I got it now. Okay. So I think you can go faster by tapping or something. Whoa, whoa. Okay, this is kind of weird. So anyways, oh my God, my ceiling woes. Let's say that. So remember, guys, a couple months ago, my ceiling flooded down here in my basement. The random flood that came from nowhere that they never were able to attribute to a cause. So basically, they think that it was just randomly flooded for no reason. And they said, since it hasn't flooded again, obviously it's not going to flood. So we're just going to seal it back up and be done. That's what the management company for this place said. What is this? This is really weird looking. What is this? We're going down. Oh, it's just a... it's like a big gravel pit here, which is kind of crazy. I guess what I should do is go all the way to the bottom and listen for zombie sounds, because that's how I found the last cave, and see what's going on. So, anyways, that was... They probably determined that they were just going to patch it back up about a month and a half ago now. They said everything's good. Maybe it's been about a month. They said everything's good. We're going to get it patched back up and take care of your carpets and all that fun stuff that they said they were going to do. So basically we're a month past that date and absolutely nothing has come from any of that. So I've been all week trying to reach out to my property management company to ask them what is going on. And of course, every time I call, you have to get connected to an individual person who is responsible for taking care of your property. And so I know the guy's name. I know who he is. So I asked if I can, speak to him. And can I ask who's calling? And I tell him who I am. And they always ask, where are you calling from? And I'm like, guys, I talked to you like 20 minutes ago. You know who I am and where I'm calling from in regard to what property. But anyways, that's why I need to talk to this particular individual. Oh, okay. Okay, hold on one second. They always come back without fail. He's either on the phone or with another client. Without fail. And they're always like, let me transfer you over to his voicemail. And I said, I don't want to be to his voicemail. I've already left him a few messages. So this week, I've left him a few messages on his voicemail, as well as emails. This freaking guy refuses to call me back. And I just want to know what the hell is going on with my property. I'm sitting here in a basement still with a tarp covering my computer every single night, with holes in my ceiling, and the things moved all around the room to the side to try to keep them out of the way, and in case it leaks again, especially now with the open holes, in case it leaks again, to make sure that things are protected and as safe as they possibly can be, because I got some expensive stuff down here. It's my whole recording setup. So I start getting a little bit frustrated. That squid, he's calmed down now. He was going crazy for a minute. So that's been going on for a week. I've called multiple times, left multiple voicemails, emails, saying you have to call me back. We need to get to the bottom of this and understand. So finally, I called earlier today, and they give me the same runaround again. And I said, look. It's Friday. Oh, look, there's one of my old portals. I said, look, it's Friday. You need to make sure he calls me back today, because we need to discuss this before the weekend comes. Just, well, would you like to leave him a voicemail? I'm like, I've already left him multiple voicemails. You know this. You're the same reception person I'm talking to all the time. And yeah, there's not that many of you guys that work in this office. There's not that many properties that you guys manage. It's not like I'm one of thousands of people that they're managing properties for. I'm one of about like 20 properties that they manage. And if they're getting so many phone calls about similar issues from their clients that they can't keep me apart, then we got another major problem. But, I've called you so many times this week, like you should kind of realize that I've already left multiple voicemails and I keep calling and I'm telling you that he's not returning those voicemails. So again, she's like, well, leave him a voicemail and tell him that he needs to call you back today. And I'll also pass the message along to him. And I'm like, fine. So this was at 9 o'clock this morning. So I'm getting ready to leave work about 3:30. And I was like, okay, before I leave work, let me write the number down and call him back from the car again. And as I go to get the number, an email pops up in my email box. And it literally says something to the effect of just responding to an email that I had emailed him 2 weeks ago now. It was in response to that email. And it says something to the effect of, I've dispatched the contractor. If you or your roommates haven't heard from the contractor, let me know. And I'm thinking in my head, like, when did you dispatch the contractor? Did you dispatch the contractor like just now? Did you dispatch the contractor a couple weeks ago when I originally emailed you about it? Or better yet, a month ago when you said you were going to get this stuff fixed? I'm thinking in my head, like, he can't be talking about the fact that, I wish I had brought that shovel with me. Oh, no, I used it in the boat. I couldn't have brought it with me. I was like, he can't be talking about the fact that he just dispatched a contractor, because otherwise, why would he say if I hadn't heard from him? Like, is he going to dispatch him and they're supposed to call me, like, instantly? Like, I don't know how it works. So I'm like, I'm confused. I need clarification. So I said, it's Friday. I'm sure he's going to leave the office anytime now. I'm going to call back and get a hold of him. So I call back and get the same lady that I talked to already. And she's like, again, oh, he's with he's on the phone with another client right now. And I was like, okay. I was like, you need to tell him that I will talk to him by the end of the day today. I said, what time does he leave the office? She's like, well, do you want to leave him another voicemail? I'm like, no, I don't want to leave him another voicemail. She's like, did you check your email? I'm pretty sure he emailed you. And I said, that's why I'm calling you. I said, I'm calling you because I need clarification on this email because it doesn't make any sense. And like, I don't know about, like, he said he, sent out the contractors or whatever. She's like, we don't send out the contractors. We just dispatch the contractors. Then it's up to them. And I said, it doesn't matter. You guys are the ones that are in charge of this deal. You guys are the ones that are my contact point, and therefore the people that are going to get this, taken care of. And I said, I need clarification on this email. I said, what time does he leave the office? And she says, 4 o'clock. And I said, it's 3:45 now. I said, I will call back in 5 minutes to talk to him, because I will talk to him before he leaves the office for the day. Make sure he knows that. And she said, okay. So call back about 5 minutes later. And this time she's actually ready for me. And she's like, okay, let me see if he's available now. And actually, for the first time in weeks, I get transferred through to this gentleman. So I'm transferred through to this guy. And I was like, so what is happening? And he's like, so, did you read my email? And I said, yes. I said, when did you dispatch these contractors? Did you dispatch them today or did you dispatch them previously? And he's like, well, no, I've dispatched them previously. I dispatched them a few weeks ago. Remember, the guy that I told you was originally going to come out there wasn't able to. And this is a true story. He had told me about a month ago when he was going to send the people out that his normal contractor was unavailable. So he was sending out a second contractor. And he was like, so the second contractor was supposed to be getting with you on Wednesday. Coincidentally, like this week, of course, he was randomly supposed to be getting together with me when it's been a month that I'm finally following up to be like, what the fuck? Nothing's happened yet, dude. And he was supposed to come out there on Wednesday. I take it he didn't yet. He's like, so I need to know if you haven't had like contact with them. I almost just said his name. I was like, dude, I wouldn't be calling you all week and emailing you if they had gotten in contact with me, would I? And I said it not just like that, but in a snarky enough way to be like, don't fuck with me. You're not going to get away with this and act like everything's absolutely fine. It's like, I know that you're obviously slacking on what you're supposed to be doing, and it's my living conditions that are suffering because of it. He doesn't have to deal deal with it. He doesn't live at this house. He doesn't have to deal with the fact that he can't reliably have stuff in this basement, that he can't reliably be down here and not concerned that the place is going to flood. That I'm sitting with holes in my ceiling and a carpet that's probably full of mold. That's probably the reason I got sick over Thanksgiving. If you guys didn't know, I got really sick over Thanksgiving. I was laid out pretty bad for the holiday. It was rough. But that was... I'm listening and I'm hearing nothing. Come on, there's got... Ooh. The beginnings of a cave. Woo! I found something. I wasn't sure it was going to happen. You know, he's not the one that has to deal with this stuff and has to live in this stuff. I just can't believe the nerve of somebody to say something to... Oh, this is weird. This is all, like, open. Crazy. The nerve of somebody to say something to the effect of, oh, you know, you need to let me know if they haven't, if they haven't gotten in contact with you yet. That's why I've been fucking calling you all week long. 3 weeks overdue, mind you. I was giving them some time to get things done because I figured contractors might take some time. I just... Oh my God, it baffles me. It makes me so mad when people in positions like that, it's not even that they can't admit that they're wrong, but just say, okay, we're getting it taken care of now, or something to that effect. Don't try to pretend that you were doing everything all perfectly pristine prior, prior to all this stuff going on, when you know that there's obviously been a problem. I've already spoken to this guy's manager before when this originally happened because of the fact that when this place originally flooded, I called the emergency plumbers because it was a weekend and the office isn't open and they have an emergency plumber line. The emergency plumbers were there like super fast. I mean, they probably get paid big bucks for doing emergency plumbing jobs, so they're on call and they're ready and they're all excited because they're getting paid lots of overtime and stuff for it. And so I already called them. They came out there fast, straight up told me after he was there for multiple hours that he couldn't find the leak, that they were going to need to go find some different people to go search all these different spots in the house and people to go check the gutters and see if it was coming in from the gutters and all this stuff. So he passed all this off to the management company, and then a week and a half later, nothing had come from that yet either. Oh my God, I'm gonna F3 it real quick just in case this goes poorly. Because there was just a lot of zombies there all of a sudden. And when I couldn't get a hold of him for like 3 days in a row, then when absolutely nothing had happened, and I was still at that point worried that the whole thing was just going to start, like the roof was going to cave in and it was going to start leaking everywhere. We still had buckets down here catching, you know, some of the drips of water that were still coming down. And when I couldn't get a hold of him through phone calls or emails, I demanded to speak to somebody else, and I ended up getting in touch with one of the managers up there, and they had some people out here of course, then this guy calls me back, you know, quite immediately after that phone call, and there was some contractors and stuff that came out to examine. They didn't do anything. They just came out and examined. This was all about a month and a half ago, because at this point they decided that they still had to be in the holding process to make sure that it didn't leak again, because nobody could pinpoint where it was coming from. So he was like, we can't patch up the ceiling if we don't know if it's actually not gonna leak again. Even though we can't pinpoint the leak, we need to, you know, keep an eye on this for a while. So that was the last time somebody was at the house, and this was hilarious because exactly 2 weeks to the day after the initial flooding and stuff happened, at like 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, after I had been, a bunch of people were over here, we kind of threw a party, we were pretty heavily intoxicated, and didn't go to sleep until like 4 o'clock in the morning, and, oh, there's that weird spawner. Oh, it's a spawning room. I didn't see the fact that there was a spawning room around it. Look at all them name tags. And I wake up to a knock on the door at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's this guy who's just saying, hey, get away from me. He's just like, oh, you know, I'm here to check out the basement. And I was like, dude, it's Saturday. Like, I didn't think you guys would come out here on Saturday. Like, it's not an emergency at this point. And I was like, okay. Unfortunately, there was somebody sleeping down here because we had a bunch of people over because we were having a party. And I came down here and I looked in the basement real quick to make sure people were still down here, because sometimes people get up early and like they'll leave and you won't know that they're actually, you know, that they've taken off and gone back home. But no, people were still sleeping down here, and I was like, I don't know if now is a good time for you to be here. You know, we were unaware that you're coming. It's the weekend. And he's like, oh yeah, I know. I'm here. I'm an early riser. And I was like, it's not the time. I was like, it's the fact that we're not prepared for you, and there's people here, and there's people utilizing that room that you want to go inspect and do all this stuff to right now. And I don't think now's a good time. He's like, okay, I can come back on Monday, but he's like, I'm really surprised that you don't want me here. I heard there was like, I came as fast as I could when I heard that there was like, there was a big leak in the basement. I was like, dude, the leak was 2 weeks ago. Like, I don't know if you are the one that's being super slow as a contractor perspective, and 2 weeks later is how you decide to look at, you know, how quickly you come out here. More likely, however, is that this freaking office manager guy hadn't even tried to get anybody to come out here for anything until I had called and harassed him enough and got a hold of his manager, that he then called somebody and told them that there was a leak in the basement, so they needed to be like dispatched immediately 2 weeks after the fact. So I don't think it was the contractor's fault. This contractor, however, had contacted me, quote unquote, to let me know he was coming, which he had said. He was like, oh, I tried to leave you guys a message and let you know I was coming. You guys must not have gotten it. I looked at my computer when he left. He literally emailed me at it was like 9:36 a.m. and said, I'm on the way to your house to inspect the basement. I'll be there in 20 minutes. That was his letting me know that he was coming, was a 20 minutes. Like, basically he was walking out his door to drive over to our house, and he was like, okay, I'm on the way. That's me letting you know I'm on the way. I mean, it's not his fault though. Like I said, he probably came out thinking that it was like truly an immediate like danger emergency situation, because he didn't know any better. He was just dispatched to do his job. It just wasn't his fault that the management company didn't decide to let them know a long freaking time ago that shit needed to get taken care of. So now again, after all this time, I've probably told that story before, and that goes to show you, if I've told that story before on this channel and you remember this story, then you know how long ago it was. It was at least 2 months ago, and I am still dealing with it. There's no fix. Nobody's ever come out and done anything with the carpet. Like I said, I'm probably sitting in mold right now. The ceiling is just filled with holes. Tarp still sitting over my computer monitor. I move it every day when I come down and sit down to start recording. I move the tarp off of it, which is a pain in the ass, because then I usually end up knocking a bunch of shit over on accident, and on more than one occasion I've knocked over like a glass of water or a beer or something that I had sitting next to the computer, and that's always a pain in the ass to deal with. But it's it's the life I live, and it's wonderful. I hate stupid situations like this. They just make me mad that people, when your job relates to other people, when other people, shit, I'm a nurse, I understand. When other people are in the balance, you have to do a different job than it is if it's just yourself in the balance. Like, if you're running your own business and you want to run your own business that just benefits you, or doesn't benefit you, like you're a contractor and you decide to be all lackadaisical and just not get contracting work, that's your own prerogative. If you don't want to do work, you don't want to get paid, that's fine. When my living conditions, or as a nurse, if your life conditions, but in my case, it's my living conditions. When my living conditions are affected by your lazy attitude, man, fuck that. It really makes sense. I mean, sorry for the vulgarity. I'm really fired up about this whole thing. It angers me. It really does. It just angers me to the core, because, I'm the one that obviously has to deal with the issue at hand, or I would say myself and my roommates, but my roommates don't really care. Like Julia and the other roommate we have don't really care, because it doesn't affect them. How did I miss this area? It doesn't necessarily affect them the way it affects me, because it's my recording studio. I don't live in this room. I live upstairs in Julia's room with her. It's true. I actually live in her room. It's funny. The recording studio is the biggest room in the house too, but she didn't want to be down in the basement. I don't know why. Because it's really nice down here, which is perfect. It's really nice because it's huge. Like, there's this room. It essentially is the bottom floor of my house, almost doubled up. But there's a bathroom down here and a smaller storage room outside than the room. But essentially take the floor plan of my house and, you know, cut it in about I look straight at that guy. About 3/4 of the floor plan of my house in the basement is this basement room in my like recording studio. So there's not only a bed in the corner, there's a couch down here, there's tables, there's chairs, there's my computer desk, and there's like plenty of room to spare in the middle. So I'm surprised that Julie didn't want to live down here because it's just a bigger area that we could have, and instead we basically live in a room that has a dresser, a bed, and some side tables next to the bed, and that's pretty much all that fits in there. So, Jesus, another one of you? I was just going to see if he was even going to get angry because he didn't seem to be moving at all. But I'm okay with it. It's the nice thing is the man cave down here is... It's more out of the way of all the noise, whereas if I was upstairs, I would be somewhere that also dealt with... like street noise a lot more prevalently, and this way I don't have to deal with any street noise at all. I can't say not any, but there's very, very little that can be heard from back here, so it makes the recordings much nicer. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I have vented my frustrations away in the Minecraft way, which is what I like to do. It's how my channel got started, actually. It was all about just like telling stories and venting about life, and that's what I like to do. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and if I can remember how to get back to where I was at, that would be helpful. I'm not 100% sure I know. Anyways, I'm sure I'll find my way there. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next episode.